My name is Abebe Hailu Davis, or Mike Davis. I'm presently in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
And how long have you been there?
15 long years. When I was about 8 years old, I met an American lady, and she had a son that was about my age. And what I was doing was I was working as a ball boy, 8 years old, at the tennis court here in Addis, at the American Community School. So one day it got a little bit darker, and she wanted to give me a ride home. And when she see where my I live with my grandmother, and she sees the condition I was living, and she started to like me. We started getting really close. And she asked my grandmother, she knows military personnel, a guy coming to Addis, see if he could adopt me. And my dad adopted me. He adopted me as an orphan. He did my paperwork to adopt me through the Ethiopian court system. I have a military dependent ID card.
Okay.
And I was just like any other American that was living here in Addis.
And you stayed in Ethiopia for how long before you came to the U.S.?
I stayed with them for about at least 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
3 years.
Do you have any recollection if when you came to America, were you on a U.S. passport or an Ethiopian passport?
Ethiopian passport.
I see. Okay.
With Ethiopian passport.
Mm-hmm. With a visa to come to the United States?
Yeah, visa to come to the United States. On a visa paperwork.
And you grew up where in the United States?
I grew up in Augusta, Georgia, actually.
Okay.
We stayed in Virginia, Foley, Virginia. It's a military camp. We stayed there for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad decided to live in Augusta, Georgia. Weather was nice. Mm-hmm. We liked it. We bought a house. I get to pick the house.
Mike, would you also just share with us the circumstances of your deportation?
1990 and 1991, I got into a little trouble. And I had position charges. It was like a joint and then cocaine and a dollar bill. That was there. And for that, I was sentenced to 3 years probation and 120 days boot camp.
Okay.
This was in 1993. All the United States citizens could go to the boot camps.
Mm-hmm.
My sentence was like 120 days boot camp. I did that, finished, and I was living my life. But I had a probation officer that was going to school with me, but she knows I was also adopted. So at the end of my probation, she told me to go to the immigration office in Atlanta. It's about 150 miles from Augusta.
Okay.
And I told her, for what? She said, they need to talk to you. So this was in 1995.
Okay. This is after everything was, after you had completed your sentence.
Yeah, I thought I completed my probation, everything.
And then what happened?
And then I went there, and I told the guy, the immigration office, I was adopted and stuff like that. And then he asked me what's my A number. I gave him my A number, but he could not find it in the computer for nothing. I waited about an hour and a half, something like that. He told me, just go back home, we'll contact you. And then after a few months later, I get a letter saying report to the immigration office. I mean, the immigration court. I think Laura was with me when we went there.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't think it was a court. I thought they were just joking. They gave me another additional charge, felony charge. And then they said I was deportable.
What was the charge?
It's felony, just additional charge.
Oh. Did you have any legal representation?
No legal representation. But the judge, he heavily advised me to get an attorney.
Okay.
I went to get an attorney. Couldn't find it. It was $10,000. It was expensive. So I went back to the court again, and I told the judge, I have children, I could not afford it. So he just heavily advised me, said, get an attorney. So I went back. He scheduled for another court date, and I got an attorney, and we went back to court, to the immigration office. To immigration court. My attorney told the judge that I was a U.S. citizen by adoption, relative citizenship, and the judge said, "Show me a proof. Show me a passport." So my attorney told me to apply for a passport at the U.S. Post Office, and I did, and they denied me. But after that, my immigration attorney, he never showed up. Whenever I called him, he don't answer. I went to his office, and that was it. So the court day was on August 26, 1997. I was on the way to court, immigration court. My car broke down. I called the immigration court, the clerk, told them my situation. I was on the highway. My car broke down. I cannot make it. He said, no problem, Mr. Davis, just your attorney will show up. Then I let it go like that. But my immigration lawyer, he didn't show up to court. So and I lived my life without, I have children, I want to bought a house, and I wasn't thinking about immigration. But I always thought I was U.S. citizen.
Right.
And I didn't have no reason to come back to Ethiopia.
And when were you deported?
I'll never forget, July 16, 2003. They knock on my door early in the morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning. When I opened the door, the immigration with their guns drawn. They saying, you are being Harry Davis? I said, yes. They said, we want you. You are being detained. But I don't want to put any commotion because my kids will sleep. And they handcuffed me. They took me to Atlanta. Detention hall.
Wow.
And it's been a nightmare ever since then. It was terrible. I spent 2 days in the holding cell by myself in Atlanta. From there, they took me to, I forgot, some small town, very, very small town, close to Florida.
Okay.
And I have never seen, I never thought things like that happens in the United States. It was terrible. About 3 months, and then they moved me to Louisiana. They keep telling me, if your adoption is legitimate, we don't need to hold you. They was holding me over 6 months. And the Ethiopian government wasn't going to issue a lazy passer.
They were going to issue a what?
Lazy passer, just like a passport for me to, be deported. But the craziest thing is the same attorney I hired that filed to open my case. He was talking to the Ethiopian embassy to issue me a passport.
Oh my gosh.
ICE officers called him up, tell him, help us out, man, so we get him out of here.
Huh.
And we paid him, when they denied the motion to open, the immigration judge suggested that they adjudicate my N-600, and if my I-130 is approved, I have a waiver. He never appealed it to the PIA. They said my adoption wasn't for immigration purposes. That was their answer. How could I go to America when I'm 12 years old, not for immigration purposes?
I was wondering if you could share with us some of your experiences once you arrived in Ethiopia and what the adjustment has been like for you.
Well, when they took me from Louisiana to the airport, in my banking account, I had $285.01, my inmate account. I begged the officers to, let me have some cash. Let me have my money from my account. They gave me the check. And they told me, oh, don't worry about it. Once you get in Atlanta, we'll cash it for you. They lied to me. But one of the officers let me borrow $20. He gave me $20. I used that $20 to talk to a taxi driver. So the taxi driver got me a little hotel, and I promised him that I'll pay him. And give me a hotel room where I could contact my wife so she could send me some money. Western Union No human being should be treated like that.
Yeah.
When they deport me, they know I wasn't going to survive. They don't think I'll last this long. But I'm a fighter. I'm going to win my case. If they want me to suicide, what you do in a country like you never been back 30 years.
Right.
Don't know where to go. You don't know what the currency is. You don't know nothing. But my daddy taught me, always fight back.
I'm Laura Lynn Davis. I was born here in 1970, and I've lived here my whole life. I met Mike about 1989, 1990, and we became really good friends and really close and had a lot of the same ideas and goals.
And you have 2 children, am I right?
We do, Solomon and Adam.
And I think Adam's there.
I think you're distracted.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Adam.
Glad you could join us.
Oh, yeah.
It's my beautiful son.
Nice.
Adam, we're just going to give your dad a few minutes. I think it was quite emotional to see you pop up on screen. I've been working in this community for so long, and your stories were always shrouded in privacy. And so I'm really grateful that you're willing to share your story and be public and educate our community, but also in some ways organize our community around those of us who are really suffering. And I'm hoping that something good will come out of these conversations for all of you.
Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate everything y'all are doing.
Same thing here. Korean community, they've been fighting for this. They've been helping me out. And I really appreciate it. We got to keep fighting. We got to keep this real past.
Mike, are you connected to any of the Ethiopian adoptee community? There is a growing number.
No, I'm not.
I'm not. Okay.
Man. I thought I was all Ethiopian deported anyway. I adopted deportee. I really wanted a good attorney that would like to look into my case. That's down to earth. Because I have a lot of issues. My adoption, I'm sure my dad filed the right paperwork for me to be adopted as orphan. And another thing, 1990, I think 93, 94, I applied for citizenship. And I had a friend of mine went with me to Atlanta. And the officer, he said, you're a citizen. Just go back, go home. And gave me yellow paperwork, yellow envelope. But I don't know what the yellow paperwork is. If they look into my file, and they will see it. I already had applied for citizenship. My dad applied, did the right paperwork, neutralized me. So I just want good attorney to look into my case once for all. No more hiding,
Yeah, no more hiding, no more not wanting to talk about it, nobody wanting to discuss the situation and the problem. It's time to get it out there. It's time to do something. We're tired of hurting. We just want to live, and support our family and just be good citizens. It just takes a long time to get an answer for anything. It just years and years go by before you hear anything, and your life is you're getting older. So just have to keep on them.
We lost our house. Me and Laura we bought our house, pizza shop, our business, our kids' education. Ever since I was deported, my kids' grade went down. We got a house that was very good location, so my kids go to good school. And I was working. I know that was one thing I want to do: give my kids a better education, good education. But all this happens. Adam, he knows I want him to go to college. I always tell him that all the time he talk to me, I say, go to college, go to college. Somebody could get him a scholarship, that'd be great for me. You already graduated from high school? and want him to go to college.
Before we started recording, Laura, you said that it's been at least 12 years since all of you are in the same room together. Is there any plan for all of you to be together again?
We're hoping that that our appeal is going to go through and that he'll be able to return to us because of all the chaos going on in Ethiopia right now. I don't think we could go there to visit right now.
Ethiopia is in a
Right.
big, ugly war.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
And how is that impacting your day-to-day right now?
Just trying to stay safe, trying to stay away from the street. Yeah. I live in Addis. It's not that bad.
Okay.
But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. This is the hotel room they rent me so I could do this interview because my house is very dark. It's made out of mud and no connection. I only have one socket, and very, it's not like this. Believe me, this is very temporary.
Laura, I know you've heard all of this before, but I can't help but notice that it's always going to be hard to hear everything that your husband is saying. How have you been? And if I remember correctly, there was a time where all of you were together in Ethiopia. Am I right about that?
Yes. I, after about 2 years of working and, trying to take care of the kids and really struggling, I decided I wanted to sell the house and sell everything and try to be with him and take my kids to try to live over there. And that's what we did. And we stayed for a few months and it was really hard. There were no jobs. I lost about 30 pounds, which is kind of good for me, but but it was rough. And so we had the embassy change the plane tickets to come back a little bit earlier. So
what has this experience been like for you on your side?
It's been really tough for us. I mean, I thought he was a citizen, when I met him, so I never knew that this was going to happen, but I'm not going anywhere and I'm going to stay right here and keep fighting with him. So we can make this change and make a difference. I know a lot of people are going through the same thing, and I never realized how many people, that this affected in this kind of manner, and it's rough. And I'd like to bring a lot of attention, and have people see that, this is not something they asked for. They were adopted.
Right.
And they deserve to be here.
Adam, hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. We haven't had the opportunity to see the intergenerational impact of your father's story. So I was wondering, from your perspective, what have you been thinking about in terms of your father being in Ethiopia, your mother being in the US, his adoption story, and what that all means for you?
It was real hard going through what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, still to this day, it feels like an ongoing battle, like trying to get the right thing done and make sure he can get back.
How old were you when your father left for Ethiopia?
I was born in 98, so I was probably like 3 in 2003 or
okay.
6.
6, yeah.
And do you remember being in Ethiopia and spending time with your dad there?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when we first got there at the airport and like all the different stuff we seen there. And it was a lot to take in, like different, like poverty in a third world country. It was like really sad to see. And it's like a lot to take in when you're growing up as a kid. So you really, really learn a lot.
Yeah.
And notice how hard it is for them to stay over there.
How do you understand the concept of deportation and what happened? Just
from growing up with it as a kid, like I knew what it was. And I always thought it was real messed up as a kid. I even I realized what it was when I was a kid and how hard that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just feel like it's just like like a bad system that's set up that hopefully can get changed. With like my close friends and stuff, I would tell them about my story, like my friends growing up. And sometimes I would run into new people, and if they would ask me, I would just tell them. And a lot of people don't hear about stories like that, even though there are, come to find out, a lot of cases that go through the same thing and a lot of people going through the same stuff. But I would definitely, I would always like show my friends his story, and they would see it and they would come to realize how hard it is, and they didn't really know the severity of it. And they were really shocked to come to find out.
Mike, what do you do during the day? How do you fill your time?
So right now I'm not doing nothing that much. Just staying safe. Go to church.
Okay.
Yeah, praying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a nightmare.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to go to sleep. Worrying about them.
Right.
No, I know, Laura doing the best she can. But,
right.
Really, they went through hell.
Yeah.
Living in a car, it's really, really been hard for them. I know there's people that worse than I am, but I'm in the bottom part. Housing is hard to get. We get running water once a month, and shower is very hard. It's not like every day you take shower or warm water. Anything we drink, we have to put some medicine, centralizer, stuff like that. Condition is tough, very, very rough. Life is tough here. If you lived in America and you can't tell these people you're deported, like they look at you like you're crazy. We don't even talk about it. I don't tell nobody that I'm deported because if you tell them, they just look at you like you're a very bad person.
Laura, can you speak to that as far as losing your husband, losing your partner in all of this? What have you had to withstand? What have you had to survive through? How have you been managing all this time?
I just try to take it day by day, and I try to be strong, especially when the kids were younger. They didn't really understand a whole lot that was going on, but you have to be strong for your kids. And we did. We lost, I told you we sold the house, and so when I came back, I was trying to start all over. Stayed in the car a lot. That was hard. Mike's adopted father helped us. He helped us a lot. He gave us, a place to stay and hotel rooms, things like that when we needed it. But right now I'm just trying to work hard and save some money and get my husband home.
Laura, you said that it's been at least 12 years since all of you are in the same room together. Is there any plan for all of you to be together again?
We're hoping that our appeal is going to go through and that he'll be able to return to us because of all the chaos going on in Ethiopia right now. I don't think we could go there to visit right now.
Would you be able to tell us more about both the chaos that's happening in Ethiopia and your appeal?
I can tell you about the appeal. He can tell you what's going on. It's
okay.
Rough with the.
Right now, Ethiopia is in a big, ugly war.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
And how is that impacting your day-to-day right now?
Just trying to stay safe, trying to stay away from the street. Yeah. I live in Addis. It's not that bad.
Okay.
But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
I see. Okay. And right now, where are the points of conflict from Addis? How far away is that?
It's pretty far away right now, so far.
Okay.
Maybe 200 miles, something like that. We're not sure because there's a lot of fake news going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, the situation in Tigray is not something that everybody is well aware of here in the United States. Yeah. Well, I hope you're staying safe, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And Laura, you wanted to talk about the appeal.
I do have an attorney, and he's trying to help us. He's met Mike before, and he really liked him, and he's trying to help us get this appeal overturned. Right now, they've sent it back to the Board of State, or Department of State, I mean, and for review. And I'm hoping that a good outcome will come of it.
And the appeal is for what? To reinstate his citizenship?
For a visa, yes.
For a visa, I see. Okay.
They denied me. It was supposed to go to the BIA, but they don't want it to go to the BIA, Board of Immigration Appeal.
And do you have any sense, Laura? I think everything feels like a long wait. Yeah. Do you have any sense of the timing right now?
I don't. I just been praying a lot. I'm gonna keep in touch with them. I'm gonna keep in touch with the attorney. Whatever I can do. And it just takes a long time to get an answer for anything. It just years and years go by before you hear anything, and your life is you're getting older.
Right.
Just have to keep on them.
I really want a good attorney that would like to look into my case. That's down to earth. Because I have a lot of issues. My adoption, I'm sure my dad filed the right paperwork for me to be adopted as orphan. And another thing, 1990, I think 93, 94, I applied for citizenship. And I had a friend of mine went with me to Atlanta. And the officer, he said, you're a citizen. Just go back home. He gave me yellow paperwork, yellow envelope. But I don't know what the yellow paperwork is. But if they look into my file, and they will see it. I already had applied for citizenship. My dad applied and did the right paperwork, neutralized me. So I just want a good attorney to look into my case. Once for all. No more hiding,
Yeah, no more hiding, no more not wanting to talk about it, nobody wanting to discuss the situation and the problem. It's time to get it out there. It's time to do something. We're tired of hurting. We just want to live, and support our family and just be good citizens. I would like to say to a lot of the people, make sure you keep all your paperwork together. Anything that you receive, make sure you make copies of it. Keep good records, because you never know when you're going to need it.
You got a daughter I never met yet.
Congratulations.
Other two kids, my previous relationship. I'm actually, I have 5 grandchildren I have not seen yet, met yet. So everything go through, maybe I could hear him call me grandpa, I want Adam to go to college. I want to teach Adam how to play tennis, how to play soccer. Oh, my dad was alive and he was helping me out, but he died in 2007. He passed away while I was here. That's one of the most hardest things that to do. He was very sick. He was injured in Vietnam. He was sick. I was in his bedside when he passed. It was the hardest thing for me. I love him so much. He used to come to my pizza shop, stay with me, make him some good pizza. We were very close. I was very close to my adopted dad. And he adopted me. And he treated me like his biological son. We lost our house. Me and Laura bought our house, our pizza shop, our business, our kids' education. Ever since I was deported, my kids' grade went down. We got a house that was very good location. So my kids go to good school. And I was working, I know. That was one thing I want to do, give my kids a better education, good education. Sometimes I wish I wasn't adopted. If I would have lived here, I could be somebody else. I could have been, much better shape than I am now. I lost everything because I was adopted. I lost everything here, went to state, build my life, bought a house, have children, have family, have business. That was just taken away overnight. And now here, my age is very hard to build it without no money, without financial support. I will say, if I ever get back to the state, I'll work, come back and buy me a house, build me a house.
What would you like us in the adoptee community to know about your situation, about the situation of others that you're in community with?
I just wish people would just become aware and read more and make sure they're reading the right thing and not just the propaganda that people put out there, just to know that this is real and a lot of people are dealing with it.
A lot of people suffer. This is just us. I'm sure there's hundreds. You adopt somebody, that's your biological kid, but as I say, that's enough, Should be, yeah, sure, they should go in the country legally. Any adoptee should be deported. None. It doesn't matter if they was adopted in 1901. They should be treated as a biological children, the same.